CFM Radio, we are live.
Greetings and welcome to a super special Thursday edition of CFM Radio.
Super special Thursday edition, CFM Radio, NVIDIA driver crashing OBS edition. Fellas, if you have an old school video card like me, a 1650 GTX, do not update your drivers. OBS video encoding does not work, and it will ruin your whole day. But
Yep. Be careful with those updates.
The good part about keeping up to date with the latest things in gaming is that we have a lot of cool stuff to talk about today.
Pretty eventful.
Right? We've got Infinityblade PC. I was playing it. We've got an update on PlayStation and games coming from Xbox to PlayStation. Nintendo's lawyers are at it again. But Drix, I gotta say, back on Tuesday, we restarted Jade Cocoon. I don't know if you noticed, but we restarted Jade Cocoon, and we got farther than we had previously gotten in our first day one stream, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, you had some practice in.
Yeah,
you knew what to expect.
I had a little
and
bit of
enjoyed the
practice.
voice acting once again.
Oh yeah, the voice acting super stellar. I always try to stay out of the way because it's so good, especially for
Yeah.
PlayStation 1. Like, what?
Yeah, it's hard to believe they can fit all that. They must have gave it some really nice compression, unlike some of these EA games and stuff.
Ooh, are we talking about one of the latest releases we saw at the Nintendo or the Nintendo Partner Direct?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe a Call of Duty or two as well.
Call of Duty or two, absolutely. But Drix, I wanted to ask you, when's the next time we could see more Rez?
If you want to check out Rez again, we'll be doing it again Monday for the next 2 Mondays in a row. And yeah, no, I'll do another Direct Assault. Maybe switch like a color pattern. Maybe try to do some of the extras on that game as far as I can take it on the Dreamcast.
Hell yeah! Then we're gonna have the original stream up tonight, immediately following this stream. So that archive will be up on the YouTube channel. Be sure to stay tuned for after the stream. It's going right up. But Drix, I think today we just got to jump right into the news because we have a lot. And we're going to get the ugly stuff right out of the way. Because it's layoff season. And it trucks on.
Still, yeah, no. Worst thing to report on from this journalist anyway.
Yeah, we don't like layoffs.
But, you know, changes aren't always bad though. It can be scary transitioning. But, yeah, I wish everyone a healthy transition.
Absolutely. And we have... And unfortunately, the list is large, and we have a full account from from a post on X by user at Mr. POMRPYO1, and the tweet says, quote, "We are 2 months into 2024. Here is a list of a lot of some layoffs that have happened gaming-wise. Microsoft, 1,900 people. Sony, 900 people. Unity Software, 1,800 people. Twitch, 500 people. Riot Games, 530 people. Discord, 170 people. Playtika, 300 to 400 people. Lost Boys Interactive, 125 people. Pixelberry Studios, 120 people. Metaverse World, 70 people. Black Forest Games, 50 people. Raycon Games, 60 people. Eidos Montreal, 97 people. Sega of America, 61 people. 91 Act, 60 people, and supermassive games, 90 people. There are more than this, but you get the point. Something is happening in gaming right now, end quote. And you know what, Drix, I'll tell you what. Something is definitely happening in gaming, but I think something is happening tech industry wide.
Yeah, stuff keeps happening, whether we like it or not.
There's chip shortages, there's new regulations for microchips, there's there's still tons of trade and tons of maritime disputes. It's a lot of stuff going on that front in regard to the constant and ever evolving situation unfortunately in the Ukraine and in other theaters of trade around the world.
Yeah, making it harder to get things from one place to another, definitely.
Absolutely. Like I said, the price of maritime insurance is sky high, so it's getting really, really hard to ship things overseas.
Yeah, tough to own a large freight carrying boat right now, or drive a truck even.
Yeah, just to get that freight from point A to point B is really rough. But that's pretty much what's going on in the gaming industry. And then on top of it, a lot of layoffs happened. We felt the residuals of the COVID pandemic, and then we felt the residuals of all of those game studios and game publishers, EA, Ubisoft, and a lot of other smaller ones shutting down their live services.
Yeah, not just developers and their employment, but also a lot of creative projects that we will not see surface.
Not anytime soon, unfortunately, but Drix, I will say that that's a good transition that'll lead us right into our next bit of news. Because even though there's a lot of layoffs and changes happening in the industry right now, and it's not very, the outlook isn't amazing for those who work in the industry. For those of us who love games, now is the time. Now is the time to really, really be checking things out in the community, because Drix, I don't know about you, but I downloaded the newly revived Infinityblade for the PC.
Yes, this one goes out to all the game preservation fans, because this has been described as the best mobile game you can't play, or at least couldn't until this very release. Until now.
And honestly, Drix, so Infinityblade, my personal experiences with Infinityblade, I had a phone that had it, and I lost my access to the account that I was on, so I never got it back before I was able to re-download it. And it's been delisted, so you can't get it anymore. There's also the arcade version, much like Fruit Ninja. Infinityblade has an arcade version that with the touch screen. So,
wow, I haven't seen one of those in person yet.
Oh yeah, they're really, really cool. And I will say that Infinityblade makes it so that Infinityblade on the PC, what you're seeing right now, has made it so that you can play this classic mobile game on your PC with, honestly, some surprisingly surprising controls, surprisingly accurate controls, surprisingly intuitive controls. You mostly just use your mouse, and you mostly navigate it as you would the touchscreen interface. You see the shield on the bottom, the dodge left, the dodge right, on either side of the bottom of the screen, left and right of the screen. And then you click around and drag your mouse clicks, and that's how you strike.
Yeah, just the emulation of swiping, but with a mouse.
Yeah, with the mouse. And there is hotkey configurations. I use Z and C and X. Z dodge left, C dodge right, X block. I use S to stab, because like there are moments where like I'll say it like this: it is a 1-to-1 port of the original mobile game. There are moments where you can dodge, you can block, you can parry, and your enemy will stagger backwards. You can look around like you're seeing in the B-roll to find hidden things in the world, so you can tap them or click them and you pick them up. And it's really cool. It makes all these little travel scenes a lot more interactive, because you're always looking around the screen trying to figure out if there's any hidden treasures or goodies or potions that you can always pick up. Very, very cool.
Yeah, pretty entertaining melee combat simulator, and then like with all the bonuses of like a train track shooter, a little bit of I don't know, some upgradable stats and stuff, RPG elements, but like pretty intense story too. Actually, there's like cutscenes.
I mean, so as far as the
expose that goes on,
as far as the plot, you are a knight and you have infiltrated the castle of this lord, and he has the Infinityblade. And you're trying to get to him and defeat him. And it is a roguelike. You will be fighting monsters like you're seeing in the B-roll up until you get to that ultimate final boss. But he's tough. And some of these other monsters are pretty tough as well. It's really, really interesting how how well preserved the gameplay is. Even though you're clicking around, you still feel like you're doing swipes. You still have that little bit of a gameplay, the similar gameplay feel. But I'll tell you what, Drix, I really, really want to play this with a touch interface, because I don't have access to one of those on my PC. But I'm sure that if you had the touch interface, this would play exactly like the classic, like exactly how it's supposed to be.
One of Apple's famous magic trackpads or something, or if you have like a Wacom tablet or something used to graphic design with. Yeah, a lot of artists out there might get some nice sword pen relations going.
Yeah, I was thinking about something like that. Like, imagine having a stylus for this game. Imagine that kind of quality is mimicked in the mouse stroke. So I'm sure if you're actually playing it either with a finger or a stylus, you're probably just schmoovin'. It's like a perfect 1-to-1 emulation. So if you're looking for and another thing I will say, a lot of games we've had a lot of retro trying to give you like a retro feel. You got games like Ultra Kill, you got games like Bolt Gun. There's a lot of games that try to like boomer shooters that try to capture that retro feel. This game, it's not from that era per se, but it has that. It's it's one of the first big budget mobile games. So as you can see from the B-roll right here, it's got that like musty kind of like dingy aesthetic in its menus. It's the in your face UI, and when they want it to be, but when it's in the action, the UI is nice and subdued and subtle, and it's focused 100% on the action. The action is brutal. Like you are chopping these dudes 1, 2, ching, 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 and then you're like all the way to the end, and then you get a finishing bonus after you just chop them like even more, and then during the cutscene, your knight finishes all of them. He'll like punch a guy off a cliff. impale a dude with his sword and pull him off. It's amazing. It has that knockdown, drag out, brawl style feel to it that you just don't, that a lot of games try to emulate, but they don't quite nail. If you want an experience that nails it and to see where these games are trying to really pull that from, this is the authentic experience, and you can play it right now for free. Go Google Infinityblade PC. This is a great port. I've been through 3 runs of it. I've been through 3 runs of it. It's a really, really fun, just a really fun distraction. Like pick up and play for like an hour, 2 hours, because you really can get lost. There's multiple paths that you can go down. There's multiple different kinds of enemies. Even if you go down the same path in another run through, the enemies might be different and they all attack in different ways. They might have different elemental abilities on their weapons. So it's always worth it to like keep moving forward. But I will say it gets a little bit repetitive. I don't know if you can play this for like 6-8 hours, right?
No, it was designed for like on the go.
Yeah.
It really piqued my interest in mobile games when it came out too.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those games when it came out, you needed like a beefy phone, you know? Like, it was one of those first games where you're just like, wow, you can't play this on the original iPhone. Like,
no. Really pushing the limits of the graphics capabilities of a smartphone.
Right. M. Stonewall C. I wonder the same thing. I'm sure it does. I'm sure if you have it like with a Surface or like Drix was saying with like a Wacom tablet, I'm sure this game would run perfectly, just like how it originally did. So I think definitely if you've never experienced this and you want to know what the hype is all about, give it a shot. Infinityblade on the PC. As someone who's played the original and has a lot of nostalgia for it, I felt right at home. It was perfect. I thought this was awesome. Like, I literally sat for like 3 hours when I got home from work and played this. It was awesome.
Sweet, yeah. Get yourself on that YouTube video, have a nice little breeze through the walkthrough, couple steps, and get it on your PC.
Absolutely.
Enjoy a piece of gaming history.
Well, of a game that really is a relic of its time in terms of mobile game direction. They literally don't make games like this anymore for your phone.
No, they haven't put out anything like it.
Like there are no free-to-play games that mimic this. A lot of mobile games aren't made to buy as like a premium experience, right? These games aren't this is a very rare commodity, and it really shows you what could have been for mobile gaming.
Yeah, people could have really taken off in this direction.
And it's interesting to think about what could have been, and if you want to know what could have been as well, and you want to experience this piece of gaming history, absolutely check out Infinityblade on the PC. And you can, it's simply, it is simply a Google away. I don't really want to give anybody any other direction than that, because this is still technically property of Epic Games. No one can get a new license to Infinityblade. I'm someone who has owned Infinityblade before, so I know, but if you have a Round 1 near you or any arcade that has a good selection of games, you could probably play Infinityblade on the arcade, and then if you want to try that arcade experience at home, here's your shot.
Yes, check it out.
Checking it out. And you know what, Drix? What I want to check out is this groovy tune you got playing. What is this?
This is a song called Ridge Racer from a game called Ridge Racer on the PS1.
The Ridge Racer PS1. We love the soundtrack, CFM Radio.
Namco, let's go.
CFM Radio, we are back.
And we are live. That was from The Punisher on the PS2, a song called Dark in Here by a band you might know called Alien Ant Farm.
Pretty wild. That was on The Punisher?
Yeah, Punisher game on the PS2.
Nice.
The rest of the soundtrack features other artists too. It's worth checking out. Definitely a edgy, early 2000s thing to take part in.
one of those certified butt rock classics, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of what I like to call it. But it's, it's a vibe. It's pretty freeing if you just allow yourself to get into it.
Oh, hell yeah. Alien Ant Farm. Those guys are they're one-hit wonders everyone loves.
No, they're on the... Yeah, exactly.
But the one thing I wish was a one-hit wonder was Nintendo. But we all know that when the Nintendo lawyers come knocking, they don't stop until the whole thing comes answering.
Yes, time to talk about another one of Nintendo's famous cease and desist letters.
Yes, we would like to play. Not actually, though, because they're done playing around. From the United States...
I've seen enough of this in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, from the United States District Court of Rhode Island, as found archived on Scribd.com. It is, quote, Nintendo of America Incorporated versus Tropic Haze LLC.
Here we go with another legal document.
Here we go. And, as with most legal documents, it cuts right to the chase with Article 2 of the preliminary statement reading, quote, Defendant Tropic Haze LLC is an entity that owns, develops, and operates Yuzu, a video game emulator for Nintendoswitch games. A video game emulator is a piece of software that allows users to unlawfully play pirated video games that were published only for a specific console on a general purpose computing device. Yuzu allows Nintendoswitch games, which Nintendo authorizes for play solely on Nintendo's consoles, to be played on Windows, Linux, and Android systems. That means that people are able to play pirated Nintendo Switch games on PCs and Android devices, which would not otherwise be possible due to the protections that Nintendo has put in place on its consoles and games. End quote.
Yes, it is in the terms of agreement and end user license. Yes, it's in there somewhere in the fine print.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just by booting something up or playing the game, you agree to it.
Yes, you hit the A button and agree to this at some point.
You hit the A button and you agree. So, and the document goes on to clarify in Article 5 of the preliminary statement how exactly Tropic Haze LLC has violated the Switch's copy protection. Quote, Yuzu unlawfully circumvents the technological measures on Nintendo Switch games and allows for the play of encrypted Nintendo Switch games on devices other than a Nintendo Switch. Yuzu does this by executing code necessary to defeat Nintendo's many technological measures associated with its games, including code that decrypts the Nintendo Switch video game files immediately before and during runtime, using an illegally obtained copy of prod.keys that ordinarily are secured on the Nintendo Switch. Users obtain the prod.keys either through unlawful websites or by unlawfully hacking a Nintendo Switch console. The lead developer of Yuzu, known online under the alias Bunny, has publicly acknowledged most users pirate prod.keys and games online, and Yuzu's website provides instructions for its users telling them how to unlawfully hack their own Nintendo Switch and how to make unauthorized copies of Nintendo games and unlawfully obtain prod.keys. only because Yuzu decrypts a Nintendo Switch game file dynamically during operation can the game be played in Yuzu. In other words, without Yuzu's decryption of Nintendo's encryption, unauthorized copies of games could not be played on PCs or Android devices. End quote. Well, damn, Drix. It sounds like they got him.
Yeah, that sounds like the law talking about how you broke it.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
You know, whoever this bunny guy is, he really screwed the pooch by admitting online that most users pirate prod.keys and other games online. And a quick Google search of Nintendo sues Yuzu or anything like that, or even just if you look further into this legal document, if you dig into it more, they specifically cite The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. They assert that it has been pirated over 1 million times.
Oh no. Yeah, that's how they're counting the damages to come back at old Bunny with over at Yuzu. They're tallying up the strikes.
We're tallying up the amount of downloads of Tears of the Kingdom are playing on this emulator.
Yep. Somebody's gonna have to pay the piper on
Oh my goodness. The $170 game.
that one. Yeah, just a little bit over the usual threshold there.
Drix, do you think... So, there are multiple Switch emulators out there, you know? And I'm wondering...
Yes.
Has anybody else's Switch... Has the author of any other Switch emulator come out and said, yo, here's how you completely circumvent all of Nintendo's copy protection, and everybody who uses my emulator has pirated games?
Yeah, I mean, granted the severity of the situation, probably not something you want to go around saying on the internet nowadays.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go around saying, hey, you know, I've got this emulator for Nintendo's best-selling console since the Wii, and here's how I did it.
Yeah, it's like the evil genius giving away their plan to James Bond.
Yeah, you know,
Something
along those lines, something in that realm, you know. It's definitely
exposed fully.
Shh, you're not kidding. Like
My devilish plan.
Yeah. How could they have known? How?
How could this be?
How could this have happened? Like, how could we?
I don't understand.
How did this?
What do you mean my loose lips stank my ship?
So, sounds like if you've got Yuzu, sounds like that thing's going down pretty soon. Nintendo is not taking that lightly.
No, they've caught wind.
Yeah.
Of treachery.
And I'm pretty sure that as far as that is concerned, you're not seeing much more Yuzu updates after this. So, Nintendo, the ninjas are out, and they're marauding the video game landscape as we speak.
Yeah, good luck out there in legalese, Bunny.
Yeah, seriously. I hope he has a good lawyer. We got some new releases. Let's forget about that for a second. We got some new releases.
Mm-hmm.
And this week's...
That we will all go out and pay for.
Yeah, we'll all go out and pay for these new releases if we want to buy them. Because you know what, Drix? And I'll say it like this. We got some good ones.
Yeah, actually. A couple of interesting titles. I mean, yeah, big hit that a lot of people might actually already be playing too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We'll start things off with Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons remake. It is a co-op classic. It is now available for the PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. It released yesterday, February 28th. And this is from the Steam page. Quote, guide two brothers on an epic journey of discovery, loss, adventure, and mystery, remade for the latest generation of graphics, performance, and gameplay. Play in single player mode or local co-op with a friend. This journey is one you will never forget. And you know what, Drix? This is one of those games that, if you haven't played it before, you might want to check it out. It's a very unique game. Kind of a puzzle game. Not so much action.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm almost looking forward to like just some wholesome storytelling, you know, a nice adventure.
It is pretty wholesome, but it also
it has its moments.
It's definitely has its emotional moments, especially towards the end. I'm not gonna say anything else, but if you haven't picked up Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, it's a great game, especially good co-op. It's one of those games like It Takes Two, where you get a lot out of it by playing it co-op. It's really, really fun. So, if you want a different game, a different take on a game, and a game that is made for local co-op, check out Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. It's now out for everything: PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PC. Check it out. But this next one, Drix,
for everyone, get on it.
This next one.
Oh yeah.
This next one is another classic.
Yeah, it's gonna smash, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It is. Star Wars Dark Forces Remastered. Now, talk about boomer shooters.
Yeah, speaking of which.
This is arguably the king of boomer shooters. Star Wars Dark Forces.
Every elder gamer I know is always asking, you know, where they can play a copy of this, and now with a new paint job.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good if you're checking out the B-roll. And here from the Steam page, quote, the evil empire is currently creating a doomsday army behind a veil of secrecy. However, they are no match for the Rebel Alliance's Covert Operations Division. Your mission is to infiltrate the Empire and put an end to their plans for terror and domination. And you know, this one is also available for everything. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC.
Yes, enjoy it anywhere.
Enjoy it anywhere. And if you're checking out this B-roll, this is boomer shooter classic, boomer shooter heaven. If you like Star Wars, you like boomer shooters, check out Star Wars Dark Forces. You can't go wrong.
For fans of the Doom engine.
Yeah, seriously. And finally, as Drix was so very, very stealthily alluding to, we have the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yep, the second installment in the remake series.
From the PlayStation Store page, quote, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the second entry in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project, which retells the story of the genre-defining RPG across 3 distinct games. Iconic heroes Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, Red 13 have escaped from the dystopian city of Midgar and are now in pursuit of Sephiroth, the vengeful swordsman from Cloud's past who was thought to be dead. The game is releasing today, February 29th, exclusively on the PS5. Drix, this is one that all the fans are going to love.
Yes, I am going to add this to my collection as soon as possible. I may have too many Final Fantasies disease. Just which one will you play? You know, you're such a fan.
Is there even such a thing?
Most. Yeah, too many Final Fantasies? Never.
I don't think so. I love Final Fantasy. Like, even though Final Fantasy VII isn't my favorite Final Fantasy, I like Final Fantasy.
No. Yeah, and for very good and qualified reasons.
Hey, you know what? We all love what we love. I know a lot of people love Final Fantasy VII. I hope all the fans of this game who've been waiting for it ever since that fateful PS3 tech demo get what they wanted.
Yup. Man, yeah, try not to hold it too close to the original 3-disc version. I mean, at least, listen and hear what these developers have to say in this new storytelling of a classic.
Indeed. And those are the new releases for the week. There's something there for everybody. I would argue. There's something here for everyone. You got your RPG classics. You have your boomer shooter classics, and you even have a classic that nobody thought would come back, or a classic that is like nobody thought would come back because it's so new. It's a PS4 game. Now it's remastered or remade. Brothers, Tale of Two Sons.
They're remaking them quicker and quicker now.
Hey, you know what? At least it's not like The Last of Us 2 that's been remade 3 times in 4 years.
Yeah, it's almost a Call of Duty a year.
Oh, God, you're right. Oh, my God. All right, Drix.
Which may or may not happen.
You know what? You're right. But you just took that. You took me out with that comment, Drix. I need to listen to some music. What do we got?
We're coming out of the casino from Yakuza 4.
Ooh. Yakuza 4 Casino. CFM Radio.
CFM Radio.
We'll be back.
It all depends on your skill.
Gaming news.
CFM Radio, we're back.
We are here, and we're live once again with CFM Radio, video game music and news.
And you heard it right. We have video game news coming at you. But first, I gotta ask Drix, what is the biggest D&D group you've ever been in?
Oh, I don't know. Not more than 5, really.
Well,
I did have to pick up DMing one time to play with my friends.
well, I bet it's nowhere near the size of Helldivers 2 player base, or the player base of Helldivers 2. And, with over 10 million copies sold and countless Helldivers dropping into missions up against impossible odds, do you think there's anyone who can control that chaos?
Wow. That sounds like one big server of an issue.
Yeah, but you know what? Arrowhead Games certainly thinks that they can. From PC Gamer, the headline is, quote, "We have an actual person with the title of Game Master. A single Helldivers 2 dev named Joel is pulling the strings on the intergalactic war like an all-powerful dungeon master, and war will become, quote, more and more sophisticated over time." And Drix, this is awesome to me.
Yeah, that is really cool and great because that is not my job and I don't need to worry about it. But thanks, Joel. I like how he has a name. It's not like a gamer tag, it's just Joel.
Nah, dude, it's Joel. My guy, Joel is out here, and he's ruining your fucking day if you're playing Helldivers 2. Like, he's sending...
Yeah, maybe.
He's sending waves of enemies. And here we go. If you read into the article, they go into it. Where it says, quote, "We have a lot of systems built into the game where the game master has a lot of control over the play experience. It's something that we're continuously evolving based on what's happening in the game," Pilstit continued. "And as part of the roadmap, there are things that we want to keep secret because we want to surprise and delight." And that is the CEO, Johan Pilstit. I think that's how you say it, Pilstit. He described Joel as their dungeon master for Helldivers 2.
Wow. That's a good gig, though. That sounds like a lot of fun. Kind of like EVE Online being on one server and like all the players just writing their own story and doing all the story quests, changing everything. You mean to tell me that he's got his own little Dance Dance Revolution rhythm game that he's playing, pushing all the directions in the right order to get the right drops at the right time?
I mean, from what it says is, quote, so Arrowhead says that its predictions about how the war will play out. It has predictions about how the war will play out. It has devised, quote, set pieces that it thinks will be significant, but in true tabletop fashion, the story will change based on player behavior. In fact, it already has. Game Master Joel has already had to grease the wheels for the enemy a few times when the Helldivers community has proved a little too efficient at spreading liberty. So it sounds like Drix. It sounds like this guy, if you're having a hard time in Helldivers, he's looking at you.
Yeah, Joel is to blame.
Joel is like, listen, you are too good at this. Here's a wave of enemies. Die.
Yeah, wow. Liberty this.
Yeah, seriously. Last quote from the article is a nice one. Is, quote, "We look at the individual planets as there was a planet that we made. That was good fun. And we have made so many of them. But the community's attachment to each planet is significant. So one of the things we're looking at internally is how can we reconsider these planets to become more of a character going forward." So, Drix, that sounds like if you're playing this game and you are fighting for specific planets, Joel notices.
Wow. How nice. Yeah, it's almost like a wrestling story just playing out before your very eyes, except you are in the boots and on the ground of your favorite planets.
You are on the ground. You dictate the story. It's a 100 hundreds of thousands player game of D&D.
Wow. No, that's a way to make a game right there.
Seriously.
And, keep everybody entertained. If you want to retain players, and maybe not have that drop off like in Pal Worlds, then yeah, that's one way to keep up.
Yeah.
And actually show a game some love, really.
Hey, you can't be too hard on Pal World. They still have like 100,000 players concurrently, so they're doing all right.
Yeah, that's plenty. You know, I wouldn't mind playing Pal World myself, but I am definitely looking at picking up Helldivers 2 now.
Yeah, seriously.
Get online with some friends.
Definitely seeming like I'm eyeballing it pretty hard too, Drix, not gonna lie. That PS5 is pretty lonely.
I want to play a rhythm game and then, you know, launch stuff, drop it from space.
Absolutely. That again is from PC Gamer. Quote, "We have an actual person with the title of Game Master. A single Helldivers 2 dev named Joel is pulling the strings on its galactic war like an all-powerful D&D dungeon master." That's great. Sounds like a game that you will want to be a part of if you are into multiplayer gaming. Helldivers 2, check it out. It's live right now. It's only $40. If you got some friends, jump in.
Yep, get into it because it is an ongoing one-time it happens and it's done experience. So you never know, it's going to change, and you might want to be a part of the lore as it happens.
Yeah,
you can make a difference.
Only you can stop these robots and bugs.
Yup. Wave after wave of my men.
It is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, going back to that, it's been a timed exclusive for the PS5, but one that seemed previously rock solid as an Xbox exclusive was Sea of Thieves. Well, we now know that it's coming to the PS5, and but it seems like new players will still need to set a foot into the Xbox ecosystem in order to play, even on the PlayStation.
Yeah. Get them with the data, hit them with the email.
Yeah, you know, from Push Square, the headline is, quote, "Sea of Thieves players on PS5 will need a Microsoft account to play."
Yeah, that disturbs some people.
Hey, you know what?
Anytime they sign in, why do you need all this information? Why do I have to make a password? Oh.
Honestly, seriously, there are a lot of games, like any Borderlands game you want to play, any Call of Duty game you want to play, any Ubisoft game you want to play, you got to make one of these accounts. So it is pretty annoying, Drix. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with, but yeah, it's become the norm and part of the routine.
So, you know, Stephen Totillo, he was formerly of Axios. Push Square's got him here off of X. He says, as for Sea of Thieves on PS5, players link their PlayStation and Microsoft accounts. Logging into a Microsoft account will enable cross-platform friend invitations, crew voice chat, proximity chat, and progression. So, Xbox still maintaining that progress anywhere, play anywhere style of gameplay, you know? Play with your friends, play on any device, play anywhere.
Yep. And pick up from where you left off. I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty good. So,
yeah,
you might need another account to play Sea of Thieves on the PlayStation 5. Yes, you might need that. But I think that at the end of the day, it might be worth it, because you know what? What if you want to play Sea of Thieves on your phone?
Yeah, or what if you're coming from the Xbox ecosystem already, or PC?
Yeah, and you've already been playing it from the PC onto my PlayStation 5, and I have all my stuff from PC. Perfect.
Yeah, especially a big open world multiplayer game like Sea of Thieves.
Absolutely. Yeah, you
want
don't
all your cosmetics.
You don't want to start that over.
No, that is not a game you want to start over after pillaging on the high seas.
Hell no. But I will say, Drix, one thing that I've been jamming to this track. I'm not going to tell you to start it over, but I think next time I listen to it, I'm going to start it over. What are we listening to?
This is Area 1 from Blaster Master on the NES.
I should have known. Area 1, Blaster Master, NES, CFM Radio.
CFM
Master Blaster.
Radio.
We are live.